We are going to play Money, Money, Money by ABBA with a slight twist. I'm Louise Nakayenga, your pianist, alongside Topacho on the drums.
Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us for these conversations on Crystal One-on-One. Now we happen to be at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel today in a bit of a different venue. We're by the poolside in a nice little corner. The sun is out. I'm looking at the water. I want to swim, but no, we shall have a conversation first. Now today my guest is a classical pianist. She is the founder of Star Creations Antique Furniture. She's also a landscapist, but she's trying to run away from that, an interior designer, and she grows tea, lemon verbena, I think a type of tea. Imagine that. I have Louise Nakayenga joining me on Crystal One-on-One today.
Thank you very much.
How are
Crystal.
you?
Fine, thank
Those
you.
are many different things.
Very many, and there are so many
Pianist,
that you haven't mentioned.
farmer, landscapist. What are the ones I haven't mentioned?
You mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
which ones haven't you mentioned? I just feel like there's so much, but I can now point out two.
Mm-hmm.
It will come.
It will come. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know
Yeah.
you have your piano evenings night coming up.
Yes.
So I'm sure rehearsals are in high gear right about
Yes.
now. Just tell us before we even get into the interview so we know the show is coming up. When is it going to be?
Piano Evenings concert is a classical music concert that will be on Friday, May 16th,
Mm-hmm.
6 p.m. at Speak Resort Munyonyo.
Okay. Speak Resort Munyonyo, Friday evening, 6 p.m., 16th of May.
Yes.
Okay. And what's so exciting is we're talking about you being trained classically, but you work with so many other instrumentalists and spoken word artists and singers. I have to ask, when did this come to you? When did you decide, okay, I want to do something like piano evenings?
Piano Evenings from when I was a child. I've always wanted to be a concert pianist.
Oh.
But Piano Evenings, it grew, all this that you see, it grew from input from other people.
Okay.
Originally, it was supposed to be a simple piano concert.
Okay.
A piano recital, actually. Piano
So
recital.
you wanted to do a recital?
A recital.
Okay.
But the more I talked to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
people were like, no, this thing is supposed to be bigger. So people saw it's supposed to be bigger than actually what I thought.
How did you feel when they told you that in the beginning?
In the beginning, I was semi-resistant, but I'm not really a resistant person when somebody's talking to me because I feel it's a message coming from God.
Okay.
Especially when it's from a random person. So this is how it happened.
Yeah.
2 years ago, Edward and I were scouting places for a piano recital. So we went to different
Edward is your
hotels.
husband, let's be clear.
Yes, Edward is my husband. So we went to different venues and then we landed on 4 Points. That's when it was not yet open.
Yes.
So we saw a very small room that could take the number of people. We wanted like 50 people.
Oh.
So we said it's perfect. It's luxurious. we see a stage and a piano, full stop. So when things now, okay, let me tell you exactly how it happened. Last year, in January, was a very different year for me economically, work-wise.
Okay.
Because when Star Creations Furniture was started, which is 11 years ago, it's always busy.
Yeah.
Not very, very busy, but at least there's always an order you're working on, at least one mirror or a coffee table. But January last year went still.
Okay.
Now the work that was coming in were very small pieces of work, like repairing a tiny coffee table that just needs resanding. Please just, rescrewing a part of a table. So it was very, and you couldn't reason it out to children are going back to school, people don't want to spend, because it was,
And this is after like 10 years, huh?
yes, after 10 years. So last year in January, it went still. So I found myself at home a lot, Monday to like Thursday. There's really no reason for me to leave home. So when I'm at home, of course, I use that chance to just practice the piano. So it went on 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And that's when the message came that maybe now this is time for you to concentrate and do something with your piano. Now something tangible. I have a YouTube channel I opened in the lockdown, but there is as much as the YouTube channel can do. People will watch and then go away. So I felt that it's time to do a recital.
Had you had like time to practice like before that?
Yeah,
Or you were mostly busy?
I practice. I usually mainly used to practice. Now, for my piano exams. So I was supposed to do my grade 8 piano exams in 2021.
Okay.
But when the lockdown came, of course, they gave us back our money for the exams and said, we don't even know when it's going to be. But in that lockdown, I was almost ready, just almost ready for those exams. And then I thought that, you know what, these pieces that I was practicing for, let me use them to start a YouTube channel.
Okay.
So that's how it started. So, continuing to feed your YouTube channel, you practice. I was mainly practicing for the YouTube channel until I realized, no. There is much more to this. But as I said in the beginning, I always wanted to be a concert pianist from when I was a child.
Yeah.
But I thought it's something that would come when I'm in my 40s. Like, that's my retirement. Now playing the concerts.
Okay.
No, rather playing the piano for people. So after we scouted and we saw 4 points, it just felt, oh my God, this thing might come sooner than I thought. Now January came. I'm at home. Week 1, week 2, week 3, I'm home. There's really no reason to go, because with us, there is always a reason to move. People call, even people who don't want to give you a job. There are those who just want to get, ideas from you. You're always moving. Come and measure here. Come and measure here. But most times, even 70%,
They don't pan out.
They don't come out to they don't become the jobs. So I'm always on the move.
Yeah.
So week 3, week 4, I said, you know what? Let's do a concert.
Okay.
A recital, sorry.
For 50 people.
For 50 people. So there's not much homework to do apart from practicing and then talking to the director of Kampala Music School. His name is Chigundu Musoke. And say, how do you normally do these Kampala Music School recitals? We also want to do a concert. And you also tick that off, that at least it was done for. So in February, when we found out that this thing has to be this year, which was last year, I approached a family friend, relative, stroke friend. Those are three what? 3 relationships. She's family.
Yes.
But she's also a family
friend.
And
she's also your relative.
A relative and also a friend.
Yes.
She's called Betty Maraka Chivuka. So Betty Maraka is an events. She does events. She does events.
Yeah.
And she's certified from a school, City Schools of the UK. Is it City Schools?
Okay.
So she does her
So
events.
she does events organization.
Yes, events organization. She does her own events. So I went to her just for guidance. That want to do a piano recital, but how can we make it clean? How can the preparations be clean? So she's the one who said, there's nothing like a piano recital with you. For you, you need a concert. I was like, no, 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 no. You see, at Camp Music School, this is how the recitals. I would just put one stage, one microphone, and people come in and walk out. She said, no. This thing's supposed to be a concert. This is the reason why. Because as for now, you're the only Ugandan that we see with a YouTube channel. Okay, there's another girl. You're the only one. Yeah, she used that example. That you're actually the only Ugandan lady with the other who has a YouTube piano channel.
Yes.
So that means it has to be a concert. Then I said, no, it's supposed to be, a recital of 50 people. She said, no. Actually, yours needs about 250 people.
Okay.
So I took her to the hall that Ed and I had chosen up. 4 points, one of the smaller halls up. She was like, no, 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 no. You're supposed to be down in the Victoria Ballroom. The thing just seemed too big. It's like, now you're going to fit 50 people spaced what? 2 feet apart. It will just look ridiculous. She said, anyway, that's so what we have to start on. So she gave me the guidance. That to organize like this, she gave me her notes to read through. You need a budget. Save the dates have to go at this point. Who are the other performers? Find out their fees. What is, all these things that take. And she wrote for me an estimate budget. And interestingly, that was the exact
budget that you had planned.
Ended up, that we planned.
You were within budget.
The one that she wrote, but I didn't believe her budget. I thought ours would be around 10 million. Because at that time, in the beginning, people don't tell you the exact figures, but say, the venue will be 2 million. You ticked it. Then you have to look for sponsors to help you.
Of course.
Now, that is the part I feared the most. Actually, I didn't fear, I hated. Because I thought of it as begging for money. Help me with money to put up a concert. I had never understood that whole concept.
And you'd never been in that situation
before.
Never
in my whole life. I just felt like a beggar. He said, no, sponsors actually also benefit. Their brand is aware. I really, really struggled. Crystal, I struggled with that part. So let's write down. She gave me some of the ideas that the companies that she believed can help. And I also had my own that I felt, people who have worked for the furniture business, definitely family members and all those things. So she wrote a budget that you think might come to 35 million. I was like, look at this one. This thing is going to be 11 million because, for you have written down your budget. And actually, at the end of that day, her budget was extremely accurate.
That is so crazy.
That is crazy. So, we went ahead. We went brainstorming. You brainstorm. What does she have to say? When you go back home, you internalize with Ed and you're like, okay. That it was just a mixture. So every time you talk to somebody, then, I'm talking to Beverly. Beverly is the poet at the piano evenings. Everybody knows Beverly in her bosom singing, who happens to be my big sister. Everybody gets surprised that we are so different. I'm soft-spoken. She is so soft-spoken. So she's the one who would say, she's the one who would add on. In fact, this is what you're going to wear. Make sure you're wearing gold. In fact, call this person because she knows all these people. It's like I would get piano evenings that happened last year was a product of what everybody else was saying. I just had a vision of a piano recital, but every time I would talk to somebody, they'll say, no, let's do this.
So you had all these people around you who made it happen.
And especially musically as well. So I thought it would just be me and one of the pianists that I really, really highly respect, Mr. Paul Luja, who happens to be my piano teacher. And when we started the practices, which started informally, you guys, let's just meet at music school. I play for them this piece. Everybody would add on. This song needs a drum. No. Here the melody is not clear. Why don't you try here? Then the vocalist, Hannah Nyombi, when she would come for practices, she would also say, no, but this is how we used to sing back in high school, in Gaza High School. So those songs we performed last year, those are songs we used to sing in high school. By the way.
Never.
Yes. So she said, Naka, you used to play this part this way. Why are you now changing? Let's play it exactly how we used to play it. So in the practices, everybody is chipping in an idea. Here we had Evangel, the violinist who had played before for a YouTube song, and then the others came on board. Now Asiku, I had met him through Beverly, the one who does. Now Asiku for him is multi-talented. He plays everything.
Yes.
So he does the local instruments, but he also plays the piano. So every time in practice, when somebody would add, Mr. Luja would say, no, actually this one needs a drum. Asiku would
That's
call.
because you now had percussion.
Yes.
You even had dancers, folk
We
dancers.
had dancers.
How did that happen?
Asiku. So everybody, now since there is a drum, and in practices, the song makes people dance, that means we need a dancer. In fact, Betty had said, you need a ballerina.
Everyone had ideas.
In fact, a ballerina, contact this lady. But then in the program for last year, we saw, no, actually, there is no song that suits a ballerina. So with the percussion, let's go local. And we got these traditional dancers, two of them.
So
Eddie
from your idea of a straightforward piano recital,
it was a piano.
It like morphed into this, I feel, entirely unique evening.
Yes. So it was just listening to everybody around. That was not the vision I had. The vision was at least I could just see myself on stage and people listening. That was it.
And I think you had, what, 300 guests?
Yes, we had 300 guests. We were supposed, the room could take 280. So, and people stood.
You had a full house.
A full house.
How did that feel?
Well, it feels, how does it feel? It feels, to be honest, I don't even know the right word to use. Not overwhelming, not surreal. It's just, maybe you just don't take time to internalize and think about other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know as soon as it ended, people are like, when's the next one?
Yes.
Immediately, right?
So first we didn't want to think about when the next one would be because you don't want to rush these things. You want to feel that the time is right and also creatively wise. You don't want to do what you did last time here. Not for you only, but for everybody else. You have to feel that even the rest of the people who you want to come on board feel like May is a good time. So around November, that's when we felt, let's do something on Mother's Day, for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Let's do a piano evenings for Mother's Day. So people will bring their whoever would want to gift that evening. And when we scouted around, yes, Sheraton was a good venue, but we realized that in case, because the Victoria Ballroom here takes maximum 400 people. So we said, in case you work and you're targeting 400 people, and in the last hour, there is an overlap. You don't want that same thing to happen where they are standing. So the only other venue we had in the country was Peak Resort, Victoria Ballroom.
That is so fascinating. That what happened, this full-on unique concert, because you weren't just doing classical pieces as well. You were doing like literally a twist on some of the new music. I know you did some Alicia Keys at some point. Did you even do an Azawi song?
Yes, we did Masavu, classically, we changed it. So what we do, in fact, some people say that we don't know how to define that music of yours. It's not really classical. It's not contemporary. It's somewhere. It's everybody to take their version.
That's what's unique about
it.
It's a unique experience.
So yeah, the ideas come as you're playing. It's just how you implement them. You know what I really believe that in the practices we have to play for one another because you as the performer, everybody as a performer, the way you're playing the music is sometimes not the way other people interpret it. So you can play it and you feel like, ooh, but then when you listen to other people's feedback, then that also gives you a better direction.
Okay.
That do this, maybe remove this, add on to that. So practices is also like a pre-concert there that we have before bring it
Well,
for
lucky you.
you. Yes.
Yeah, but of course you have to blend
You have
and
to
feed
blend.
off each other as
Yeah.
well. Louise, I mean, we've gone so far ahead, and like I want us to go back
Actually, yes.
to the little girl. When did you actually start playing piano? When did you start learning piano?
Learning. I think I was 4 or 5 years.
Was there someone else in your family, your
Yes.
parents?
My mom.
Mm.
So I was raised definitely by my mom.
Mm.
She's called Mrs. Betty Mugoya.
Mm-hmm.
So she had 3 children. So it's Beverly, my
Yeah.
brother, Mainza, and
Then you.
Nakayenga.
Okay.
But on my dad's side, I have 2 siblings,
Okay.
Juko Kayondo and Sanji Tendo. We
Okay.
share the same dad. Yeah,
So you're the youngest on your mom's side.
on my mom's side.
Okay.
And on my dad's side, it's in Sanji.
So was it your mom who played the piano, or she's the one who
Yes,
wanted
actually,
you
she
to?
used to play the piano as well.
Oh, okay.
So my earliest memory of starting to play the piano was we had a piano at home.
Mm.
So the Beverly also used to have piano lessons when she was young. So there was always a piano. My mom said she bought it in the 70s. At that time, I believe she was a housewife.
Mm.
So when everybody was away, she was at home. I think she also used to take piano lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was young, I remember I was sleeping and I had someone playing this very famous track. Have you played the piano before?
A little bit, just a little bit, but no, nothing like you,
No,
nothing like
okay.
you. But I took piano lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the first tracks that you
Well, the
played?
melodies are. That's the like.
Yes. There's that one. There's also dun, 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 dun. I'm sure you played that one as
Yes,
well. Now
I tried.
You tried.
Please, let's be clear. I'm not gifted in that way.
Okay, everybody has their thing.
Mm.
So I had somebody playing it while I was sleeping, and it sounded so good. So when I ran to the living room, I realized it was my mom playing. So I told her, please repeat what you are playing. You know, she got shy. She said, it was not me. Neda, neda, neda. You didn't hear anything. I begged. I said, please repeat what you are playing. She refused. But she got shy. She said, no, mani auntie, ninabyokola bichi, 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 bichi. But that was very good because I went onto that piano and I tried to look and replay
What you had heard.
what I had. I played everything. I mean, I pressed everything until.
That's a core memory for you.
Yes. So that's why that skill of playing by ear, I believe, started from there. Because pianists, they're always two.
Mm-hmm.
There are those who play, read music,
Mm-hmm. And that's all they can do.
and that's all they can do because that's how they were trained.
Yes.
Then there are those who play only by listening because that's how they started out.
Right.
And then there are those who can do both.
Mm-hmm.
So that bred the path for me to, look for what is happening on the piano, to play what I had. And then I started to have piano lessons as well. That's
I
why
think she saw, oh, this young lady here. Clearly, she's interested.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said as early as 4 years old.
4 years or 5 years.
So like you played the piano literally your whole life almost.
Yes, there were of course long breaks.
Yes, there are breaks in there.
And let me tell you, my starting off to play the piano is like every other child's. Today you're excited, the next day you're not.
Yes. Yes.
The next day, the piano teacher comes home, you run to the neighbors and hide.
Thank you for being honest about that.
The journey was the same. And then you don't want to know. When I went to, of course, when it comes
Can I top up your coffee?
Oh yes.
Because you're not drinking your coffee.
So when it comes to those intense classes, P6 and P7, of course you also don't want to know. Then you join S1, S2. Most times you also don't want to know. So it's so I took a long break. I don't know from which class, maybe P5.
You were in Gayaza?
In primary, I was in Green Hill.
Okay.
So in Green Hill, I used to have a piano teacher there as well. It was an extracurricular for those who wanted. But then even then, I never liked to. It's like, but just do, because it felt like the easier curricula for, people would go for cooking class, sports, and I'll go for piano.
Okay.
And then in assemblies, I'll perform,
Okay.
play a track. And then Gayaza, S1, S2, there was a piano teacher who would come every Sunday, who I would call also one of my inspiring teachers. Now, what I liked about him, Mr. Sam Luja, he taught us that on piano, there are no rules.
Okay.
For you, if it feels right, that is it. So he was my piano teacher for the longest time. So
he
with
gave
him,
you
you're
some
free,
freedom.
freedom. Thank you. But with freedom, you also need to follow rules as well.
You need to be disciplined, you need to practice, all of that.
And the technicalities that come with a piano. So that's when Mr. Luja came in to ground you and to remind you that, no, you still need rules to follow, Mr. Paul Luja. So Mr. Sam Luja always used to hear me practicing and would tell me to come on Sundays. But you don't want to know. Until S3, S3 is when you have to pick those 2 extra subjects.
Yes.
And I used to undermine music. I wanted to do something complicated. Additional maths.
That's what you wanted to do?
Not from the bottom, I wanted to do something complicated and feel intelligent. But when reality hit, I was like, let me stop pretending here. Here there is almost a guaranteed distinction. Let me go do music.
Okay.
So we're 11 people who went to the music class. I did piano. And of course you had to resurrect your piano. So that's what happened. Same thing with S6. I had to do piano for UNEB. So of course after S6, I didn't want to know. University, I always used to bump into my late piano teacher as well, music teacher, Mr. Mubiru, who unfortunately passed on. I used to bump into him a lot in Wandegea from MOOC. Now, of course, that time, you now think about your vision, you were just thinking about business. I want to be a business person in the future.
So for you, it was business. That's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Okay.
I always knew I'm going to be selling things. Yes.
Mm.
So I always used to find him one day and says, you're here looking for money. You know that money you look for in university, you're selling T-shirts, jewelry, that standard stuff you're doing. So you're here looking for money, but the piano is waiting for you. And I'll be like, look at this madman. I don't want to be poor, leave me alone.
That is so crazy. So you were running away from the piano.
I ran away, and YMCA, where music school was right there in one day. That's why I always used to bump into him. Sometimes I wanted to hide. Like, please don't tell me about your piano business. Fetunonya sente.
This is so hilarious. Okay. So when did you find your way back then?
In back, that was when I was 26 years. So university is usually 19 years, 20. That's when I used to bump it.
Done around 22 there.
So, so every time I'd go back to YMCA, it was still in the mode of Nonya Sente. So I'd go to music school, find a piano teacher, tell him how to do a concert to make money. Of course, that was just all jokes. You're still very raw. For you, now just think about money. But I think it's very normal at that age. You
want to be independent. You want something of your own.
Yes. And most times you just think about Nonya Sente. So at 26 years, I got that message came back that, you know what, it's not even about Nonya Sente. This was my first love. Piano was my first love. Then I realized there is this, of course we need money, but then there are those extra things that we do that fill that thing in us. And I realized actually it's piano.
You felt it was missing.
It was missing. There are all these other things you've experienced. You've bought your first car, those small cars that we buy. And when you experience it, then you realize, okay, no. This is actually the real path is this. So at 26 years, I looked for Mr. Sam Luja. I said, I want to continue with my piano exams. I want to go. So we did my grade grade 6 exams. For as long as you do UNEB piano, for S6, you have to be at grade 5 level.
Okay, okay.
So everyone who did, but unfortunately they scrapped it off.
Yeah, I don't think we still have it.
Yeah, we don't
That's what
have
we
it.
need to revive.
We have to revive it. People are going to run mad for nothing. So I was on grade 5, so I did my grade 6. Just to do my grade 6, not for any other reason, like I want to now do a concert and all those things. No. I thought I just want to continue with my music education. So I did my music education at 26. And I felt definitely have to go on. But I didn't feel the need to hurry up to do the rest of the grades. Then, of course, you're in that space, you want to get married. Of course, there was Edward always in the picture. So I said, now let me just
focus on this
chapter. So 26, the focus at that age was Edward. Pursuing. That journey was also very, very interesting. Interesting now, you can say interesting now, but it was very, very, it was just too, it was hectic, let me be honest.
Intense?
Hectic.
Hectic?
Yes. Getting married is not an easy thing, as we thought. And especially as we're in Gayaza.
Okay.
You come out knowing that the moment you walk out of that door, there are going to be like 10 proposals by the time you get home. Like men are just there, because guys and girls, we feel ourselves. We feel ourselves, let me tell you. And especially now, us who are in Mrs. Kisarale's era. Mrs. Kisarale used to make us close our eyes every morning and would shout the words, the guy as a girl does it best. I am the best. Like we come out knowing, if I want to get married, that month I'll get married. There are going to be 10 men waiting. Yeah, whatever job you want, you're floating. You come out floating.
Above everyone else.
We keep to ourselves. We don't want to know.
Isn't that funny?
It's funny. It's very, we have to change. These things have to, because that's not reality. We keep to ourselves. Essex back, you're yourselves. You're with yourselves, rather. Going out in the night, you're in your circle, expecting all the boys to come, because we are the guys and girls. And the story was so different. So then you always meet that one person who really has entered your heart, and there's nothing you can do about it. Even if you fast, even if you pray, you're like, God, neda. So with Edward's journey was a very long journey it was quite long, from when I was 24 years.
Okay.
I got married when I was 28 years, and the one constant was Edward.
There was a one constant.
That one constant. You try to run away, it's just something else. Because, of course, you meet him at a stage where he's not sure. He's not ready.
Yeah.
He probably was sure. I don't know if he was sure.
Might have
but
been ready.
He was not ready. For you feel like,
yeah,
ask me out, please, let me be your girlfriend. Bichi. Mama,
this needs to happen now.
That journey was hectic. I wouldn't want to repeat. That's the one stage I never want to repeat. Before we actually became girlfriend and boyfriend,
and
that
settled.
journey too, it was just too confusing.
Being young.
Because that was probably how the journey was supposed to be. But as we had our expectations that if you like me, whatever.
It's straightforward. It's supposed to be ABCD.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Until he came to a realization. You have to ask your questions. Yeah. And we're always afraid to ask those questions. Okay, some people, they are more confident than others. So you have to ask those questions. That, why? Is it a yes or a no? Am I going to be your girlfriend, hence wife, or not? I asked the question. It was one bold evening, because I saw I'm going to be in this hurdle for a long time.
Yeah.
You can easily find yourself in your 30s. 40s, you're in the same.
Actually, many women.
Yeah, many women.
Yeah, 10 years later. Nothing is clear.
Nothing is clear. Probably the guy you really liked married somebody else. then you still think you're waiting for him to leave that and come back to you. That thing happens to us. So I remember Ed used to come home in the evenings. So my auntie one time spotted him. So she asked me, "What's with you and this Chibuka guy?" So I said, "Auntie, to be honest, I don't know. Are you his girlfriend?" I said, "To be honest, I don't know." And she said, "Let me just advise you, find out that answer as soon as possible, because you might remain in that confusion for a long time."
Yeah.
And then it also hit me. There are those messages that come from God through other people. That evening, I said I had to find out the answer. I called Ed, he didn't pick. He drove straight to where he stays.
Yeah.
I said I have to find
Oh,
out the
this is
answer.
juicy.
Yeah, it's juicy. So I told Ed, I asked him, by the way, I'm here for one thing. Was it only? Am I your girlfriend, or am I going to be your girlfriend, hence wife? Tell me yes or no. He said no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He said no. And then, but you're definitely heartbroken, but you're relieved because you're like, I just wanted clarity so that I can move on to this other path of my life. So I was like, okay, perfect.
Like now
of course,
you
you're going
know.
through. Now I know. Now let me first recover from this, and now my direction is find somebody else. Kumbe, this person who had told me no, I think when I left, he says that's when he realized,
It's like, what have I done?
what have I done? He told me that time, that evening. That's what he told me.
It means you're funny.
So he told me that evening he slept outside his room. He slept on the balcony in a chair, very confused. And he said that's when he realized that, you know what? Actually, I think this is the person for me. So from there, now for you, you're just moving on. Me, I needed to heal. And for me, my healing journey comes through messages from other people. So at that time, Aristoc was the place where you go buy books.
Yes.
So you go read. Everything that we need to know is written in a book. So I went and searched for all books that would help me in that time.
Oh, so
I went and read.
You do research to help you.
To help me. So I went to Aristoc looking for a similar story or something. So I spent like 3 months just reading.
Yeah.
And in those 3 months, Jukida, the person who told you no, is still sending you messages. So for me, all those things were very spiritual. I was like, this actually could be the person. Because from a no, you can't send me a message the next day.
Yeah.
That,
And then the day after that,
and the day after that, you know what, despite the fact that we're not together, I still want you to, all those things. I say, actually, you know what, this person could be the one. So I spent 3 months reading all sorts of books. One, to understand what love is about.
Okay.
Love for us, we thought, when you come out of Gaia's, like especially, you come out knowing things come to you.
Okay.
So with love, we also thought that no men, and that's a message
and you
that goes
don't
on.
have to do
You don't have
anything
to
because
do
you're
it,
the
'cause
prize.
the girl. So I started to understand what love is. That love includes giving.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
You can know that with your friends, giving them a birthday gift, taking them out and whatever, your mom and your siblings, but not with the guys. Then I started to reflect, okay, for me, what was I giving Ed on my part of the story? There was absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Even intangibly, what were you really giving that you felt that this person would want to be with you the rest of your life? Then I started to understand, okay, because you as Nakayenga, there is quite a lot that you can give. And how do you give? By being yourself. I was not myself. I didn't really understand what being yourself is. Embracing who you are. Okay, up to now, by the way, I'm still learning
You're
more
still
about.
learning.
But then I started to understand. Start to embrace the package that is Louise Nakayenga. That's the best gift you can ever give to the world, the universe.
Right.
Then I started to started to learn self-awareness, started to be more of who I am. Actually, that journey is what I've remembered. That's the journey that made me resurrect piano, my piano playing.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I said, Nakayenga, that's, this core you had back in the past. You used to play the piano. So I resurrected all that. And all that. So one day, I was on Facebook, and then I realized that Ed had shared my Star Creations furniture page. She had posted it yesterday. And for me, that was a message. Because we had not even been talking. Just talk, minimally.
Because for you, you're working on healing and moving forward.
Moving forward. The message came that actually, you know what? It is. So that evening, he invited me out. Let's go to Fuego's. I'm going to be with my cousin Elizabeth. I joined them. And then, that weekend is when he asked, could you be my girlfriend? Just like that.
Yeah.
The first time I'd seen him, not the first, I'd been seeing him.
But like properly sat down with him.
Properly sat down. Yeah, he asked me. Very informally. And I was like, okay, of course there's a lot I'm leaving out. But I'll just tell you that. And then he asked me, could you be my girlfriend? I said, yes, of course I am. Because for me in those 3 months, after reading, and I realized actually it is Ed. You try. There are those people that you will try to take out Nayene Chigana. I just thought it was a message that this is the person. I tried to eliminate him out of my system. You always think about Ed. You're trying to meet other people. You're just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? That is it.
Yeah.
So then the next time we were hanging out in the weekend, then he asked, could you be my wife? It's a span of like 1 week or two. I said yes.
I guess he had also had his time to really think.
Yes. So it was a proposal without a ring. No plastic ring, nothing. I said yes.
But I think so many couples actually have. That's the real proposal.
I think that's the real proposal.
Then they do the other part. But first they have a conversation just between the two of you.
So of course you'd be shy. That, hey, now where's your ring? I'll be honest. I'm like, there's no ring. I said, oh, it is. I got the ring on the quandula, which was also a surprise. I didn't know I would have a ring on that day. So even the speaker, asked me, Bananga, you're going to have a proposal because we see the ring. He said, to be honest, I don't know. But I was surprised the ring came at the end of the quandula. Anyway, so that was the message. It was self-awareness. And those are things you keep educating. These things we know them.
Yeah.
And we feel like we understand them and we actually believe this is the path. But we forget them along the way.
Yeah.
Life takes over, then we get stressed. But it's because we are forgetting the core message.
Yeah.
That any gift you could give to anyone, it's just to be yourself and embracing it.
Yeah. And you took the time to come back to who you are, what you enjoyed.
Yes.
What your passion was. It's interesting. Sometimes I also think it's timing.
Timing as well.
Sometimes in life we're trying to rush things based on what we think should happen, but it's not the right time. That's like, for me, it's an example that the timing wasn't right. Okay. So then you got married, and that was the focus for some time.
For some months. Got married in July. I went for Christmas carols in Namirembe in December. And that's when I had Mr. Luja playing the organ. Mr. Paul Luja, he's the one who plays that. He's the main organist of Namirembe.
Yes.
So he's the one who played for those Christmas carols. Those Christmas carols were so powerful, Crystal. The choir sang like we were in heaven. The organ is like, this is actually heaven.
You felt it.
I felt this is heaven. That music was too good. So I asked the person who conducted that, do you teach piano? I want you to be my teacher. He said, no, me, I'm a conductor. Contact Mr. Luja, this is number. I called him the next day. That, please, could you be my teacher? He said, okay, I first have to listen to how you play, where you've stopped. Then he asked me, who was being your teacher? Mr. Samluja, but why wouldn't you want to go on with Mr. Samluja? I said, because the technicalities, when you get to grade 8, grade 7, he also advises.
You get somebody else.
You get somebody else.
Yes,
so I can have both of you
Mm-hmm.
help me. I said, okay, let's start. So that's how we started to work towards now the advanced grades. Yeah.
And that's how you found yourself back to your first love,
Yes, back to my first
the
love.
piano. So I need to know about the furniture business.
Okay.
You know, I bought some lovely stools from
Yes,
you.
but how are the stools, by the way?
I still have them.
They're still intact.
Yes, still
Excellent.
have them. How many years later? And I love that, you know, you can store them nicely, put them in the car. Anyway, how did you get into the furniture making business?
The furniture making business, it's also
Mm-hmm.
the same organic story like anything else. You read on my LinkedIn, I studied landscape design.
Mm-hmm. You went to Johannesburg.
After S6, I did my Bachelor of Arts in Economics here in Makerere.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then before graduation, somebody told my mom that, you know what, Nakayenga, you shouldn't be going around dropping brown envelopes. The man told mom, this is the time for practicality. Let her first go do a practical course.
Okay.
So, not that I had the passion for landscaping, no. That gentleman spoke to my mom that use this time for her to go and do a practical course, whichever course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you usually graduate in Jan. You finish exams like in August. So those 4 months, you've been doing all these things. I used to make jewelry. And you know those things which are limits.
Yeah.
There's where you can't do it anymore. Selling umbrellas, selling snacks. I used to make gonja snacks.
You tried so many
so many things, which I'm all going to resurrect, by the way.
Because those are skills no one can take from you.
So when that message came, this gentleman, when he spoke to my mom,
how did you feel about this?
I was excited.
Okay.
Why? Because I had reached the maximum.
Okay,
You've
of doing
sold
the jewelry and the snacks and the...
but you feel like there is nothing more, and there's no more creativity in these things. I used to get a bus, night bus on Akamba. Then it became Easy Coach, go to Nairobi. In Nairobi, I used to go to Kazuri Beads.
Oh.
Buy the beads. Then there used to be a shop on River Road, Upper River Road, called Kanaya, where I would buy some glass beads and some plastic beads. Because already I had bought all the beads here in Uganda. I knew where all the beads were. Majestic Plaza, the plastic beads. There was a shop in Ntinda. Taloso. No, Taloso was in Muyenga as well. They also used to bring Kazuri beads here. Then there used to be one on Ntinda, which I think still, all the beads in Uganda to make jewelry for people and go to offices and parties. Me at weddings, I always had my car case. selling. It's always time to sell.
Yeah.
But then I wanted to advance, so I went to Nairobi. All those shops in Nairobi, I bought from all of them until you reach the maximum. Like there is no much more creativity from here. Then I thought, I go and do a course in China on processing beads so that I can sell beads to people.
Who are the ones making the jewelry.
So I wanted to start an NGO. You know the point where everyone wants to start an NGO. So I wanted to do an NGO. I even went to my sister Beverly, please, let's draft on how to start asking people for money. Because I want to start doing beads here in Uganda and training women on how to do beads so that now we can start selling.
Okay.
But that one was not inspiring anymore. I felt like with jewelry, everything had reached the maximum. So when this message came, and the way my mom was so open to it, she was like, just go. Of course, you know how our lives are when you are living quite purposeless.
Yes.
And not excited about life. You're over partying. So I was always partying every night, hangover, sleeping because you've reached your maximum. You don't know what to do.
You're
You're
not
feeling
anything.
You're
not feeling focused.
Yes, you're not feeling focused. So that was how I was during university. Because even my university life was not that challenging. The course I did was not. I just did it. I loved economics, but I didn't think it was quite easy for me. So
So
That's why I barely went to class, by the way.
Oh, so it wasn't challenging.
It was not challenging. I could just read and discuss with my friends. So I'd spend most of the time out of class. I'm in Nairobi. I come back in the morning, do my bids, walk around Kampala, you know. And then when the gentleman said this, my mom was like, hey,
Let her go.
let her go. So for me, it was whatever course. If it's plumbing, I was going to go
You
and
were
do
going
that.
to go.
But it happened to be landscape design because my mom is a landscape. And she was like, yeah, you could join me in the business. I just
That
went to
makes
the
sense. So she's like, oh, she'll work with me.
she'll work with me. I was so excited. My sister Beverly said, when did you start now liking plants and landscaping? Told them I just want to leave the country and learn something new.
Yeah.
It's not piano. I felt it was way more. So I went to South Africa for 1 year, did the landscaping course. That course was landscape design. So you learn the technicalities on how to landscape a space.
Yeah.
So those technicalities are the same, the rules are the same with interior design.
Okay.
So I was at a school called Lifestyle College of Landscape Design. We were 20 people in the class. It was a very interesting dynamics. So people left all walks of life. People who are in retirement were in that class.
Oh.
People who had not even got to university, looking for that direction, were in that class. People who had jobs were in that class. People, rich housewives. There's a lady we had. She was so wealthy. Okay, rich. I don't know if she was wealthy, but she was rich. You could really tell a rich white lady. She did that course to design her garden at home because her garden was on, their home was on acres and acres and acres. In Johannesburg, it was so big, it had a forest. So she felt she had to do a course to design her garden
To
at
know
home.
how to do it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So that course had so many dynamics. When we had our first orientation, one of the gentlemen said that this course is going to change the way you look at life. You're not going to see it now, but you're going to see it when you leave this course. It's going to change your perspective. Most of you actually here are not going to become landscapers or landscape designers. Most of you, I would tell you, most of you. I was already in the system already, so coming back Kampala, working with mom. Most of you are not going to be landscape because this thing is going to open up your mind in a way that you've never thought. So we did the course, different course units, learning about plants, learning about trees, and also when you do it from places like South Africa, whose climate is very different from the one here.
Yeah.
The plant knowledge, you always have to remember, for you, you're coming back to a tropical country
tropical
here.
climate.
So the plants that really work for them, they're not the ones that work here. But they would understand.
Yeah.
Because, most of those teachers were very exposed. So say you who comes from Uganda, we're not back at home. This plant is not going to work for you. So interestingly, I'll give you an example. There is a plant called Duranta. It's in fact now it was too common. It was that yellow shrub that works as a hedge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
when
one
we were growing up, it was everywhere.
It was but it came also here during Chogam time.
Okay.
I don't know if it was there before. Maybe I never used to take note. Maybe it was there before.
I feel like in the village, especially.
Why in the village?
That used to be the hedges, right?
Or
with
not
yellow leaves, like yellowish leaves.
Now you find it in burial places. It's just people are done with that Duranta thing. Yeah, in Uganda. Like it's so cheap. It's not even 500 shillings anymore. I think it's 100 shillings per plant. But in South Africa, it's an expensive plant.
Wait, what?
Very expensive. In fact, one time in one of our projects, we're using hedges. So in South Africa, the hedges that they normally use, actually for them, you would rather use bamboo sticks or use this bamboo.
Yeah.
But the poles. So for my project, I used that plant, Duranta. And the teacher commented, Louise, how much would a client pay for this garden? But then he understood. You come from Uganda, a tropical country. So that was the dynamics doing that. So the plants for me that I would know that I would feel. Because every time you're doing a garden, you're imagining here back at home. Say, hey, Louise, your gardens are expensive, but we understand you come from Uganda. So it was those dynamics. The dynamics, one of the people who I studied with, people came from all walks of life. That's when I saw open-mindedness. Here in Uganda, there is no open-mindedness.
Yeah.
Where, as a teacher is talking, somebody talks back. I was like, which indiscipline, which home were you raised in? You have to raise your hand. Like, that's what we're used to. So it took a lot of adjusting.
Yeah.
Even just to walk out to go to the bathroom. You know, you're used to, you know, no, why would you want to ask me? You feel it's rude.
Yeah.
So it was that openness that I was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I got exposed to that 1 year. Absolute openness, by the way.
So did it also like build your confidence?
It built my confidence, but more so the openness in terms of ideas became limitless.
Because you know, when you say you're learning about plants and trees, some people be like, but then how does
furniture
translate
come in?
to being open-minded? But I'm guessing you're also learning about spaces. You're also learning about, I guess, culture, all these different things.
And that there's no wrong. There's no right, there's no wrong. Even in a garden, when you're designing, there's no false. Here it won't work because now you can't put this tree really next to this space because it's going to cause damage in 10 years' time. Those are those regularities, the same technicalities in everything else, but there is no wrong here. So that's how it opened up my mind. I was dying to come back to Uganda because I was like, I don't even know where to start from. The ideas were so many. I'm continuing with the jewelry, first of all. I am continuing with my umbrella business. You know, of course, there's always, you know, going to print. There's a gentleman I used to work with, Richard.
So you do umbrellas like corporate? So you do the branding and logos?
Yes, the branding. Not myself. I knew somebody who does it.
But you knew how to get things done.
So I used to do, you know, umbrellas, guys at high school, go and sell them on visitation. Those things. Yeah, I even did for the Kavaka. I branded the Buganda logo. Gave to them. They made an order. But I've never seen them using it. So at a point, I think I had seen them using it once. But his had to be a very, of course, king size. So there was that maximum, you know, size that we got. I saw them using it once. I made for Nabagereka umbrellas that we used to brand. So all these ideas, I woke them up when I was there, that when I go back, I'm dying to go back to Uganda. I could really see I'm not going to do on landscaping one day. There was much. I'm resurrecting all these things. So when the course ended, I was back here in a flash. Starting to work with my mom, escorting her to gardens, seeing how she does things. Then I would also get on my own because I was like the only person who had done landscape design. So people were waiting for me. Come on, design. Please, my garden is the first one you're working on. So already there was work to be done.
Oh, wow.
So I was doing gardens, escorting my mom to her gardens as well. Resurrecting. Now, how does furniture come in? When I came back home, there was this boy who had finished a course in Makerere. He had done some work for my mom. And he had done a mirror for my mom. So I said, who did this mirror? I met him.
Okay.
I met him and his team. They were in the slums. I said, can you make me this, a wine cabinet? He did it. I would put in my mom's garage. Make me this mirror. As I'm doing the landscape design. So he made for me a wine cellar, he made some mirrors, he made coffee tables, but I would put in my mom's garage, which was mixed with everything else. Watering cans, we'll just mix and put there.
You're making the furniture for yourself?
I think I was just making it just, one day we'll probably sell these things.
Oh, okay.
Until some lady came at my mom's home and my mom showed her, oh, even to be turned so color. Nakayenga we turned so color. Of course, it's not me who sends these things or makes them. I create the design and I
give it to them, they make it for you.
The lady said, Mama, your mirror I make. I remember I told her 780. She gave it to me. Immediately, 780,000.
Right there?
Right there, cash. She said, those are all messages coming.
Mm, mm.
And I said,
And you're listening.
You're
Mhm.
listening. This thing is the one.
Imagine.
So I set a date, November, was it November 8th, 2014, November 8th, it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
We are going to launch Star Creations Antique Furniture. We are going to do a party here at home, invite all the people we know. We hired our tents, did a display, and invited people. We officially launched it.
And you showcased what you had done.
If you go onto my Instagram page, I believe, Facebook page, if you go in the past, you'll see the launch of Star Creations.
Okay.
It was at my mom's home with guests who came in. We got the nearby kiosk. Come and sell your sodas and beers. People will be paying you. I don't want profit on what?
Yes, on
your
drinks
beers.
and things.
Okay, he bought the things warm. These simple kiosks in Impedere. Come and bring. It was not that fancy, but the tents were fancy. There was a platform. So we launched the business that time. And immediately, that's when people started. I want a dining set. Make me an 8-seater. That's how it organically started.
Sounds to me like you're very good at listening to your instincts. Because, like you said, the messages are coming, but I feel like many people don't receive them. But you're like, and then you don't complicate things. You're like, okay, let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah. It's always fast. Then it comes, the timing comes, and you feel. Then you listen to what people are saying. Then me, I always believe it's God communicating. Please, just
Through
do this.
the people around
it's not supposed to be difficult. But of course, now we started collecting pieces. Let's make this, make this. Working with Chimbo and his team. And that's a team I've been working with up to today. The same people.
The same people. You've grown together.
Yes.
That's nice.
So they are really a family. I really, really, really love those carpenters. And on top of the new ones that have come along the way, they are just a family.
Yeah.
So I can never leave that business because for me, I feel like it's actually for them. So when I'm making you a store, that store, it's really for them. I'll make the profit for me to enjoy, but I'm only there right now.
Making sure they are working.
They are working for them.
Okay. Because the designs, the quality, the woodwork, really impressive.
Yeah.
I have to say. I guess that's why you continue to have business throughout the years.
Yes.
Okay. So
they are really skillful people. Of course, you have to put in a hand in the workshop. So the workshop is not mine, the workshop in Majorly, but most of that machinery there, it's me who buys it. For
so
them,
invested
yes, and they can use it for other people, their clients. They also have their own clients, but majorly it's me. And I saw it last year.
Okay.
Last year, as I said in January, when work suddenly came to a standstill, then you reach that maximum, you don't have money. The car we had woke up one morning, it stopped working. They gave us a bill of 14 million. We said, Ed sold the car. Because that money is not going to, you're not even going to find that money anymore. And your focus is elsewhere because now you've seen there's a piano thing coming up. So I have to practice. Then work has stopped. I'm now barely going to the workshop. The poverty that was at the workshop last year, the poverty we experienced last year was something else. That was not even brokenness, that was poverty. You have no car. All the money that is coming in, those small orders, is all going to the concert. And happily,
yes,
people cried at the workshop. They were like, Auntie Naka, church, good day, walk. That's when I realized that it's actually Star Creations that keeps this thing going. They have their other customers, by the way. But last year was something else. It was not easy. But luckily, the concert came. Ticket sales went into making sure that this concert is excellent.
Yes.
No service provider, no cutting corners. Everyone was paid.
Yeah.
Every performer was paid. And then the day after. After that concert, That was not brokenness, it was poverty. There is a big difference. Ay, 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 ay,
That is
ay,
very
ay,
funny.
ay, ay, ay,
It's
ay.
not being broke, it's
Oh.
poverty.
You get used to
Mm.
you having a car with living without a car in Kampala is not. It's not
If you're
right.
used to having one.
If you're used to having
I
one.
know, that's what
with
happens.
the dynamics of the way that our work is.
Yes,
You have
because
to
you
have
have
a
to go
car.
here, you have to go
You have to
there,
go
you have to.
On borders, taxis.
Mm.
You know, most of my time I'm in the taxi park, which is not, by the way, it's a fabulous place, by the way. It's not disorganized, it's very organized.
Yes.
It is easy, it is cheap, but the thing is the time.
Yes, that's the only challenge.
The challenge.
The time is not yours.
The time is not yours. So if it rains and the rain finds you, you have to find somewhere to lean. But then, Crystal, let me tell you the truth. Everything happens. For as long as we are listening, everything comes at the right time.
Mm.
Now, let me tell you what I learned from last year. Because I really walked.
Mm.
We were just able to get a car 1 of February again.
Yeah.
It came at the right time because now you have to be moving with a piano everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't be using Uber. Those things are expensive all the time. And also draining.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Uber here,
Yeah.
they don't want to use the software as it is. They're always disturbing. Where are you? Where are we going?
Where are we going? Ha.
No, that should come
Then
to
they
an
ask
end.
for more money.
Then they ask for more money. So you're always like canceling, ain't getting this one, going to from Uber to Bolt. Then of course you get your special hire guy. Once you have a special hire guy whose number now you save, he's always on demand because other people need him. 10 airport. 10 But Bami, he was very good. The one who really took us through that piano evenings time of last year. Very, very good. But he was also on demand. So I walked. Let me tell you something. I walked in Kampala. It reminded me of my old times when I was working with the jury.
Yes.
All that weight that we're trying to lose in the gym. A train, all that money.
All you needed to do was walk.
To walk and have no car. And I got my cages that I was always dreaming of. I was like, I'm losing weight. Are you stressed? Bitchy? I was like, actually, I am walking. Walking is the answer.
Yeah.
All these grandparents of us who we see are 90 years and going, those people walk.
Yeah.
Walking is the answer.
That's what kept them strong.
That's what kept them strong. The gym is good. For me, I believe that gym, it helps you look sexy. So it turns the body the way you want to. But they're the organic things that you do, that we run away from. One, you be the one to clean your home. So now we had to cut costs.
Yes.
So, Ed and I were like, you know what? Do we still need Hamida to clean the home? We will do that ourselves for now. To reduce that 60K. She'll just come into iron. Let's clean. Yeah. And you're realizing when you're cleaning the home, these are the same things you're doing in the gym.
Yeah. Actually, they said that's one of the easiest ways to have a daily workout. Housework.
Here, you're just not doing it in reps. But it's the same thing. You're carrying, pouring the water out, loading more. These are the same things. Same muscle. You're mopping. Me, it's the part where you carry the water to take it out in the drain. I was like, this is the same as all those.
Imagine that. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't think about it that way.
No, these organic things, of course.
And yet you're paying money to go to the gym and do the same things.
And I'm not decampaigning.
I know.
Because I really do believe a gym is where a person can look sexy.
You've not from that looking sexy.
Yes, that's cutting that, having that hourglass. Definitely. You will be guaranteed. But don't forget there's the organic way.
Yeah.
So I stopped going to the gym. Of course, the money wasn't there anymore. And I embraced cleaning the house. And the weight was still going, reducing. Now I'm on my dream weight. Simply because of the walking and now embracing. Now, also these things like when we are carrying things to the car or I'm carrying anything, a chair from here, I don't do that business of, ladies, Bichi, let your husband carry. Please, me, I'm in the gym, in the car.
Exactly.
Yes, so I
I
embrace
had
any.
that conversation with my girlfriends. I'm like, when you go to the supermarket, the bags they give you, because sometimes they see me also walking with my bags. I'm like, that is my workout.
That is your workout.
I'm
Thank
keeping
you.
my muscles strong. Imagine.
I'm not going to sit and then wait to go. It doesn't make sense. Let's now start being logical.
But we're spoiled. You want to walk with someone pushing a trolley next to you
Yes, of
because
course.
you're a lady.
Yeah, push it. He also push if he wants. He'll push, but I'll push.
Yeah.
If I can.
Yeah, if you can.
If I can.
But that's an interesting perspective that we forget. That sometimes you can go back to the basics. And what you think will be the most challenging time in your life, it's actually very eye-opening.
Very eye-opening. Eating out. When you have money, money is a very deceptive thing. You become spoilt.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't feel like cooking. Now we have Glovo. Everything you want, even Katogo,
Yes.
you're ordering on Glovo. You have money, you can order from Glovo, you're going to the gym, but you're not seeing any results. Until you're actually forced to cook at home, whether you like it or not, which is much better. To eat your own food that you've cooked
it's
from
healthier.
Home. It's healthier. Luckily for us, we have Rosa Butcher near home.
Yes, yes.
Of course. Rosa Butcher is mom and dad,
Yes,
my in-laws.
family business.
So you know where the meat is coming from. It's easy to cook the products from there. Even just cutting the meat, you can tell this is Rosa meat, you can tell this is not, because you know the process.
Yes, yes, yes.
So everything just makes sense. Now you're eating more at home. For me, it's weight loss, because as much as you look at some people like us, they can think, you people, you're small, bichi, bichi. No. There are times when you're 70 or 70 kgs, which is way more than I should be.
Yeah.
Yet I had a trainer.
So last year was challenging, but very rewarding.
Very rewarding and very eye-catching, right? Eye-opening.
Yes.
The logic. Do your own cleaning. Eat from home. All things we know, but you have to first experience
True.
being grounded. Yeah. When you have money, you become very, not even spoiled, very, not even arrogant. What is it? You know those things that, I can't take beer, I only take red wine.
I can't, yeah.
Yeah. Why would I be eating or drinking until you're broke and you want a drink? You have a beer for 3.5. Tascalite would never taste any better.
A nice cold one.
A nice cold one. So it's those things where you understand the advantage. Now I'm starting to actually understand what money is for. After you experience, that brokenness. Money is really just to pay what's needed. What you really need.
And you can live with so much less. Actually, we forget that.
Because what's the point of having, there are so many people who have, even us, when you have money, you can have, say, 5 million as your bank balance. But you have people's payments to do and you don't want to let go.
Unfortunately,
you need to pay
people
for
like
this.
that.
You need to pay your taxes. You know you have to pay your 1.5 with your. You don't want to let go. You have debts with this one, but you just don't want to let go. Money is actually for you to make sure that everything's to be paid.
Right.
So it's better
the
for you
more you hold on to it, the
Yes.
harder it is to receive more.
Yes. So you're like, I want to hold on because I want to get this car, or I want to go on this trip. No. It's better for you to have zero on your account, knowing that, bam, you've paid off.
You have no
everything.
debts.
Yeah.
Whoever you owe is sorted.
That is the importance of money that I'm seeing. And when it's actually time for the universe to bring that holiday, it will bring it at the right time. All of a sudden, that project that you had quoted 2 years ago, that's when the person says, hey, we are now ready.
Yeah.
So everything comes at the right time. Interestingly, in Feb this year, is when 2 projects came from way back.
Okay.
So some kitchen that we are doing, another kitchen and wardrobes from last year. Person said, we'll let you know.
You had even forgotten about them, I'm sure.
Of course, you can't forget when you're broke. You're like, when are we starting? When are we starting? When are we starting? They came at the right time.
Okay.
Then piano evenings has
Mm.
come
Mm-hmm.
from last year. You know,
Now, well,
That's-
literally a month away, actually.
yeah,
It's
we are
just a month away.
3 weeks and
16th
something.
of May.
16th of May.
Mm-hmm.
The sponsors have come on board. Is this a send account number? Bought a car. I said, Bambi, you can't go through piano evenings without a car, especially moving with these instruments. So everything comes at the right time, and
At
we have
the
to
right
embrace.
time.
They say we have to enjoy the ride. Interestingly, when they say enjoy the ride, they mean even not the bad stuff as well.
Yeah, that is true.
The brokenness, the sickness, and every other negative thing. If we can learn to enjoy the ride as it is, because we all have our path.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen next year.
It is not a straightforward
It's
one.
not a
It's not
straightforward.
a steady climb.
It's not a steady climb,
Mhm.
but embracing it as it is and going with what nature brings. You might fall sick next year. I might fall sick. I don't know. But I'm trying to be that open now to life. That you can fall sick, people fall sick, people get diseases, people cure. Other people are not meant to get cured. And that is how your journey is supposed to be. So we have to embrace it as it is.
So that's also releasing the, I don't want to say the lie, but the idea that you have full control over what happens to
Oh
you.
my goodness, we don't.
Sometimes you think you're in control of everything, and then life happens and you
happens.
realize, actually, it was an illusion. And a very big part of being able to move forward is just to say, okay, this is where I am now.
Today I planned to do this, but you end up doing something else. Of course, the center of today was Crystal's interview. First of all, I arrived 10 minutes late, which was very unlike. I was like, I'm arriving late for Crystal's interview. But
But we're
you
here
have
now.
we're here now.
The exciting thing is I know you're going to do something for me.
Yes.
So that's our little, our extra that you won't get anywhere else.
Yes.
So you have a little something with one of your percussionists?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, piano evenings, a world of color.
Yes.
A world of color is a theme.
Why is that the theme this year?
Because last year the theme was a tranquil transportation through time.
Okay.
We're giving people a musical journey. That we're going to play music from the old times, that is Beethoven times. Beethoven is a person who really played a lot last year. No, we played him once.
But he was like
for me, I feel like he was the center of last year's.
Okay.
So we are bringing people from the music of that time all the way to Masav.
Okay.
Which had just been released last year.
Yes.
So we're taking people through that journey. This time it's a world of color. A world of color means we are celebrating music, not only classical music, but we are fusing classical music with not only African music, Indian music, Arabic music, R&B with classical.
What?
Another first song on the program on 16th May is an R&B song.
An R&B song. Okay.
So it's going to be fused with classical and R&B. A very common
Just looking
song.
at your face, you're very happy with yourself, excited about this.
So, a world of color just came like, let's keep people not excited, but to really, really honor music. Music is a very powerful thing. We all know that. But we now have to celebrate it in a way that has never been celebrated. So, a world of color, it's Louise Nakayenga. I'm playing alongside all these 8 different performers.
Yes,
May I mention their names?
Yeah, please. For people who don't know.
Yes, so we are 3 pianists.
Yes.
It's Louise Nakayenga, Paul Luja, and Jimmy Senkusu.
Okay.
I call those other 2 dragons on the piano. Those ones are it's just a bit too much. Their talent is a bit too much. Then we have our vocalist, Hannah Grace Nyombi.
Yes.
A voice to reckon with. Hannah Grace, she has a business that she does. She only actually also has resurrected her
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 singing.
talent because of this concert. But she
Oh.
didn't have to go through la 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 la. She started from where she stopped.
Okay.
So during the practices, once in a while, a vocal trainer listens to her as he's doing his other things and comes to enhance.
Yes.
But she needs just a minimal enhancing. For her, it is something else. Then we have Topacho on the drums. Topacho, you're going to experience him today. Topacho is also multi-talented, but he's our drummer. He can drum onto anything. He can drum onto even a classical piece and still keep it as it's supposed to be delivered. So you're going to get a touch of Topacho.
Okay.
He's a drummer. We have definitely the poets. Piano evenings is poetry as well. So some of the pieces that you're going to listen to, they're going to be introduced with a poem. Because actually that's how the composer had written the pieces. Some of these old classical pieces, it was a love story. We have Asiku Wasiku, the traditional instrumentalists, because all that goes hand in hand. We have Evangel Gimadu on the violin. He's going to be playing the violin this time, not the cello. Last time he played the cello and the violin. He'll be
this time will be the violin only.
He heals. I asked him, how did your love for the violin come along? He said he watched a movie back in that time when he was young, and some lady used to play the violin to heal people. She used to play the violin and people would get healed. And that is how he was like, that is what drew me to that instrument. I wanted to heal. So that is how he delivers. Evangel, interestingly, last week in practice, we have a piece that we're going to play together. The piano and the violin. After we finished playing it during the practice, you always want feedback. So we asked people, how did you feel? Then Beverly said, and she had never heard about his story of healing and he wants to heal. She said, oh my God, you guys, I came with a flu. And it has gone. We had never, we just wanted feedback. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the piece? She said, you people, I came with a flu for this practice. And now it has gone. I just kept quiet. For him, that's why he plays that violin.
That's where his heart is.
Yes. Then we have a new entrant, very new. We have a new instrument, the double bass. The double bass is a big violin. Call it a big violin. But no, there are two different instruments. In fact, he's called Dixon Musuvuga. Dixon is always mesmerized by how Evangel plays. They both look at their instruments like foreign, like, how do you do it?
So they look at each other like, wow.
How do you? It's a completely different technique. So we have the double bass. And then we have guest performers who we won't mention. You just have to see them.
Yes, some surprises.
So just buy your ticket, please, on quicket.co.ug. Piano evenings.
So Quicket is where you can get your ticket now. Quicket.co.ug.
Yes.
Okay, Louise, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
This was so much fun. I have learned some new things about you today.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you for
listening. And I know that you have something special planned for us.
Yes. So, hope we'll be seeing you at the Piano Evenings concert on Friday, 16th of May, 2025. 6 p.m., Speak Resort Munyonyo for this and much more. This was nothing. So get your tickets now, cricket.co.ug, piano evening.